Good morning, guys. In the last class, we discussed about correspondence module. Correspondence module is responsible to generate and send the notices to the citizens. So basically, we will be sending approved notice, denied notice, renewal, termination, additional documents, missing documents notice like that. So how the notices will be processed in the correspondence module? For that, we have prepared a plan yesterday. We are going to create one batch job that is responsible to send the notices for the citizens who are having pending status, who applied for eligibility, who did not receive any confirmation from IES. For those people, notice should be generated. Got it. So here we have implemented this in 6 steps, guys. So first one, whatever the notice job that we are going to create, that notice job will be scheduled on daily basis at 7 p.m. Every day at 7 p.m., this notice job should be executed to process the notices. When this job is executed, what is the second step is, it has to pick up all the records which are available in the pending status from the database table. How to find out the pending triggers? We have the table, CO notices table, CO triggers table will be available. Notice trigger will be in the pending state. We need to identify all the records which are in the pending status. Okay. So once we find out the records which are in the pending, there can be multiple records in the pending status. It can be 10 records or 20 or 30 or 100. So when we have several pending records, we need to process each and every pending record. So how to process each and every pending record? We need to generate the PDF for the record based on the eligibility status. Eligibility may be approved or may be denied. We need to generate a PDF for that. Whatever the PDF is generated, we need to store that PDF in the S3 bucket, AWS S3 bucket we have to use for that. And we need to send that PDF to the citizen email address as an attachment. And we need to update that record status and the object URL in the database table. So these 3, 4, 5, 6 steps will be executed for every record which is available in the pending. That is called notice generation and a notice sending to the citizen. Trigger the job at 7 p.m. every day. Then it has to fetch the pending triggers which are available, and it has to generate the PDF for that record. Then we have to store that PDF in the S3 bucket. Then we need to send that PDF to citizen in the email. Then we need to update that record in the database table. Okay, this is the logic. Did anybody try this? Did anybody implemented this concept? Yesterday we have prepared the skeleton of the project, and I have given the project URL, Git repository URL in the group. Did anybody try implementing this requirement, guys? Did anybody tried implementing this requirement? Anybody want to show who completed this batch implementation? Not even single person. Anybody who completed this batch implementation? As we discussed yesterday, almost 24 hours back, I have given the diagram. What is the logic we need to implement? And I have created the skeleton, and I have given the skeleton classes also in the Git repository. Did anyone complete this implementation? Nobody. Okay, fine. Good. We have created classes, guys. I have added some extra coding also for that classes, right? We have a REST controller. The REST controller is available here. As we discussed yesterday, we have a REST controller which will take a request. The REST controller is talking to our service interface method. So it is going to call the service layer method. Service layer method is having process pending triggers. So process pending triggers method is responsible to process the triggers that we have in our database as a pending. So for this, there is a repository available, CO trigger repository. So this is going to find the triggers based on the status. So if I pass the status as P, it is going to identify all the pending records available in the database table. My service IMPL method will identify all the pending triggers available in the method. CO trigger entity, pending triggers we are getting, that each trigger we are passing to process trigger method. Process trigger method contain the logic. Based on the case number, we are going to get the eligibility data, and we are going to get the citizen data, and we are going to get the plan status. So we have the case number in the CO table. Based on the case number, we will get the eligibility data. We will get the citizen data based on that. And eligibility data will contain what is the status of the plan. If the plan status is approved, then we need to generate approved notice. That means we need to generate a PDF with the approved status. If the plan is denied, we need to generate a PDF with the denied status. Then we need to upload our object, the file, whatever the file that is generated. We need to upload that file into S3 bucket using AWS Cloud. S3 service is available. Then once that object is uploaded to S3 bucket, we need to update the trigger with the URL and status. If you go to update trigger, it is going to set the notice URL, S3 object URL. Trigger initially will be in the pending status. Now the trigger will be updated to completed status. Okay. So this is the logic we are writing in the process trigger method. Same thing. Batch job is getting all the pending triggers. So this is process pending triggers method. It will get all the pending triggers which are available in the database. List of triggers we are going to get. For all the triggers, we need to execute generate PDF, store PDF, send email, update DB record. So update DB record, store PDF in S3, update record. Now, first, I'm going to call the process trigger method in a loop so that all these pending triggers will be processed by using process trigger. In the process trigger method, as I have the case number, I'm getting the eligibility record. Then I'm getting the citizen data available in the table. I'm getting plan status. I'm checking the status. Is it AP or DN? AP means approved PDF. DN means denied PDF. So these methods, I have taken the code from the first mini project, which will generate a PDF with the citizen name, plan name, status, start date, end date, benefit amount, denial reason, everything will be available. Now, when the plan is approved, then denial reason will not be available for that. No need to set the denial reason when the plan is approved. When the plan is denied, then only denial reason will be available. When the plan is approved, denial reason will not be available. So after generating the PDF, immediately I'm calling send email. Whatever the PDF we generated, that PDF will be sent in the email as a attachment. Okay, eligibility info, some subject and body. That PDF will be sent as a attachment. For this, email utils method is available. Sending the email as a attachment we already discussed. We are going to add that as a attachment, right? That PDF will go as a attachment. Once it is send that PDF as an attachment, it will return that file object, guys. So whatever the PDF file that is generated, it will return the file object. Same file object I am giving to another method, upload to S3. So here S3 is available. Amazon S3, that is a predefined class, predefined interface provided by Amazon S3 SDK. Using that, we can upload the object into S3 bucket. Okay. To upload the object into S3 bucket, put object method is available. In which bucket you want to upload, what is the name of your bucket, what is your file name, and what is the file. Once we have uploaded that file into S3 bucket, I want to get the URL of that object. Whatever the URL is generated for that, I'm getting that URL from this method. That URL I will give to update trigger method. Update trigger method is going to update that URL and a trigger status as a complete. So this is the process we are going to follow. So currently this S3 bucket uploading is not done, guys. I need to test it. the code is added, but testing is not done for that. I need to check it, how to update the trigger, right? As of now, this method is not tested. We will test this later point of time. And generating the PDF, email sending is available. So I'm commenting the email sending logic also for now. The reason is I need to configure the credentials with the app password and all. Email sending logic I'm commenting. So uploading to S3 and sending the email. These are two things I have commented now. First, I want to check really my notice is getting generated or not. Once if our notice is getting generated successfully, then we will see, is it going to upload into S3 bucket or not? If it is uploading to S3, then we will see email. I need to configure some credentials related to the email functionality and all that stuff. So that's why for time being, I have commented. We will test this step by step. My data source properties are available, guys. Data source properties are available. SMTP properties are there, but these SMTP properties are incorrect. That's why email sending I have commented. We will enable that email sending also very soon. Now, first, go to the database. So I'm using a database with a name called JRTP. Show the tables. There are so many tables available. Apps table is available, triggers, cases, children, education, income, plans information, eligibility details. All the tables are available. Now, here, in order to test our application, we need some data in the tables. We need multiple records in the database table. So here, if you run your application, we can insert only one record through the postman. We can insert the only one record through the postman, but I want to insert multiple records at a time. In order to insert multiple records at a time, we are going to execute so many insertions. So instead of inserting the records one by one from the postman, I have prepared a stored procedure, guys. I prepared one stored procedure. This stored procedure is going to insert the record into database table. I have written a stored procedure. So this stored procedure is having a while loop concept. It is going to execute for 5,000 times. It will insert 5,000 records into database table. So similarly, in the CO table, I want to insert 5,000 records. For the 5,000 records, I have taken one stored procedure. Similarly, in the citizen apps table, I want to insert 5,000 records. So for that, I have taken a stored procedure. Writing a insert query and executing 5,000 records will take a 1 day of time. Within one day, it will take to execute 5,000 queries. So that's why I have created one stored procedure, which is used to insert the data into database table, right? The eligibility table, I will insert 5,000 records. In the apps table, I will insert 5,000 records. In the CO table, I will insert 5,000 records. In the cases table, I will insert 5,000 records. This is a stored procedure. So how we write a Java program? Similarly, in the database also, we can write the program. Database programs are called as stored procedures. They are used to execute the logic at the database side. They're used to execute the logic at the database side. So those stored procedures, if you see in the database, show tables, if you go for select star from eligibility details, I have inserted 5,000 records into my eligibility table. 5,000 records into eligibility table. And if you go for select star from citizen apps table, select star from citizen apps table. So if you run this query, in this table, how many records are available? Select count star from citizen apps table. Here also 5,000 records are available. Select count star from eligibility details. How many records are available? So here also 5,000 records are available. Okay, let me go for CO triggers table. Select star from CO triggers table. How many records available in this table? Currently, in the CO triggers table, no records are available. I want to insert the records into this CO triggers table. For that, we have prepared the stored procedure, which is going to insert the records into that table. Okay, now, so the table is already available, guys, with a name called CO triggers. I just need to execute this procedure. In this procedure, I have declared a while loop. This while loop will be executing for 5,000 times. it will be inserting 5,000 records into our table. Okay. So create a procedure in the database and call that procedure. So before going to execute that procedure, let us check the table. Select star from CO triggers. Select star from CO triggers. So the table does not have any data. This table does not have any data. Select star from CO triggers, no data. Now I'm going to create a procedure here. Let me take this procedure. Let me take the procedure and execute this procedure. Okay. Run. Now I have executed the procedure. The procedure is created in the database table. Now we need to call the procedure, which is used to insert the data. Procedure is created. Just call the procedure. This is the syntax to call the procedure. Let me call that procedure. Now procedure called. Once the procedure is called, it is still executing, guys. Procedure is running because it has to execute query for 5,000 times to insert 5,000 records in the database table. Directly I'm loading the data into table dynamic data to test it. So procedure is executed successfully, right? Go to the table, check the data. Now you see there are 5,000 records available in the CO table. These 5,000 records are in the pending status. You can check the count of that. Select count star from CO triggers. Select count star from CO triggers. Execute it. 5,000 records are available. What is the status of these 5,000 records? The status of the 5,000 records is pending. Now we need to execute our API. Our API should process all these 5,000 records. But currently, few logics I have commented, guys. Currently, I have commented few logics. What logics I have commented? I have commented S3 upload and I have commented email sending. The reason why I am commenting is if I execute this program, it will run for 5,000 times. Uploading 5,000 objects into S3 bucket will cost us. It will generate the bill for us. And sending 5,000 emails from our Gmail SMTP is not recommended. It is going to block our email ID. Are you guys understanding my point? Why I am commenting this S3 upload and why I am commenting email sending functionality? Our program is not executing for one record. Our program is executing for 5,000 records. When we execute this program with the 5,000 record to the S3 bucket, bill will be generated in the AWS cloud because S3 will give you just 5 GBs per free space. Okay. Now, if I upload 5,000 PDF files into the S3 bucket, the bill will be generated. And similarly, when I send the email with the 5,000 attachments, okay. So when I send the email with the 5,000 emails, if I send with the attachment, so Gmail people will think that we are doing some hacking on the Gmail. Our Gmail accounts will be blocked. Are you getting my point? Why I am not uploading the object to S3? Why I am not sending email attachment? Commercial issues. In the real time, we will pay the money. Company will pay the money for the S3 bucket and the company will maintain their own SMTP server. You can send 1,000 mails also. You can upload any amount of data into S3 bucket. But here it is a training. So we don't want to block our Gmails. We don't want to get any bill from the S3. So that is the reason I have commented upload S3. And that too, I did not even test this code, guys. I have written this code. I need to test it. I will test and I will correct it if there is any mistake. And email attachment already we implemented in the first mini project itself, how to download the report and how to send that PDF or Excel file as an email attachment. That already we know how to send the attachment. So I'm stopping that logic also. I don't want to send any email. And that to here, files will be created. Na? So the files creation will be happening in our project. So, okay. So now currently, if you see in our workspace, CO API is available. Currently, we don't have any files here. Now, let's start our application in the debug mode and let us see for one record. If one record got processed, then I will kill my process and I will show you the logic. Let me run this project in the debug mode. Debug as a boot application. Go to our start class. So we will debug this code. record by record to understand the process. So when I go in the debug mode, it requires a breakpoint. Let me keep a breakpoint here. And in the service IMPL also, let us keep a breakpoint so that application will wait for the confirmation. Right click, debug as boot application. I'm trying to run this project in the debug mode to see the execution process. You can see the execution process. Application is trying to start. I'm trying to run the application in the debug mode. It is taking more time. Stop this and restart. Debug as boot application. I kept the breakpoints. It is waiting. Yes, it is taking more time to start. It is taking more time to start. Project clean. Maven course update. Just I want to debug for one record to say check to show you how the code will execute there. No guys, it's not getting started. It is taking more time. Okay. If the debugging is not working, guys, let's go with the run process. So it's not my IDE. I think there is some issue with this IDE not coming in the debug mode. All of you, can you open your stopwatch and we will see how much time it will take to process 5,000 just generating the PDF and all. If you see in my project folder, there is no PDF available currently, and we are trying to run our application. Select count star from CO triggers. There are 5,000 records available with the status as P. Let me execute it. Okay. Count star from CO triggers. Count star from CO triggers. There are 5,000 records in the pending status. And remember, S3 upload is not available. Email sending is also not available. I have commented due to business reason. Let me run this in the run mode. Guys, observe, when I'm going to run this application, keep your stopwatch ready to see that we will understand how much time it will take to process 5,000 records. Run as boot application. I'm directly starting my project. Debugging is not happening. I have started the project. Is it starting? This is a warning message, so no need to worry about it. It is saying Java 13 is removed. Guys, let me restart my IDE. There is some issue. Let me restart. Let's try after restarting application execution. I want to show you the time it is taking to process 5,000 records with a single. Then we will improve that performance by using multi-threading. IDE is restarted. Let's check it. It's loading. Yeah, it's restarted. Let's try with the run mode directly. Run as boot application. Guys, keep the stopwatch ready. If it is started, we can go with the stopwatch to check how much time it is taking to process. Same problem. Go with IntelliJ. Let's import the project into IntelliJ IDEA. We'll try to run from IntelliJ. Let me import this project into IntelliJ IDE. File import. File open. The workspace 23 JRTP workspace. CO API. Maven project. New window. Yeah. Project opened in the IntelliJ IDEA. It's loading the project into IntelliJ. This also hanged. No, done. SRC main Java start class is available, right? So once it application started, we need to make a request for our REST API so that it will be calling our. We need to send a request for our REST controller. It will be calling the service layer method. Our service layer method is having a implementation. It will process all the pending records and will update the status of the record as completed. Initially in the database, the record status is pending. All 5,000 records are in the pending status. Okay. Select a count star from CO triggers where trigger status is equal to nothing but pending. How many records are in the pending? All 5,000 records are in the pending. So this query will tell you how many records are in the pending status. This query will tell you how many records are in the pending. 5,000 records are in the pending status. Now let us run this from IntelliJ. Go to application.java, run as Spring Boot application. You should get that option to run this as boot application. Main Java application. Right click. Here is the option to run. Okay, still it is downloading the dependencies, I think so. It is updating the indexes. AWS SDK dependencies we have added. It is downloading those SDK dependencies. Guys, so can I run from command prompt? Can I run from command prompt? It's not loading from IDE. It is taking time. Can we package and run from the command prompt? Huh? Yes. Let us go to our command prompt. Build this project using Maven. A jar file will be created. I want to build this project by using Maven. A jar file will be created. Let's go here. MVN clean package. Let me package my application as a jar file. From command prompt, I'm trying to package because the code is not executing from IDE. So IDE is having some issue. In the IntelliJ, it is taking a lot of time to load. So I want to package it from command prompt. MVN clean package. I'm executing. Yeah, project build started, guys. So let's wait for the build to be completed. Project build is in progress. There are 24 Java classes available in this project. So it is compiling those classes. Once the compilation is completed, it will generate a jar file for that. Yeah, it's taking more time because of more source code. Compilation taking time. Yes, finally compilation is done. Is executing the test classes. Guys, my CPU utilization reached to 100%. Maybe because of that, my system is very slow. Yeah. Project build process is in progress. Build failure. Try the build failure. Let me check it once. Okay. The build failed because it is expecting some access keys from our properties file. Those access keys are not mentioned in the properties file because in the S3 config, we are using those access keys. If you go to the config class, S3 config.java, to communicate with the S3 bucket, I'm using this config values. Later point of time, we will use it. Anyhow, we are not reading that S3 bucket data. Here bucket name also expecting the bucket name. Currently, I'm not using S3 service to upload the object. As the placeholder is not available in the YML file, it is failing. I have changed that code. Let's go for rebuild our code using mbn clean package. Some property it is expecting from our YML file. Those are not available. That's why it failed. So I have commented that whatever the properties that we are not using, now I am going for clean package. Let's try the build will success or not. The reason might be, sir, AWS S3 dependency we have added, na AWS SDK, that is heavyweight dependency. It is taking more time to down. Yeah, now build process is started. Again failed. XSB cannot be null. Where I'm using access key. Okay. Here this method is getting called. Don't call this method. Hey, Baba. All these issues with the S3. Finally, it is going to build successfully now. JAR plugin is executing. It will package our application as a JAR file. That JAR file will be created in the target directory. We need to run that JAR file. Waiting for the JAR creation to be completed. It started, build got success, guys. It is trying to build the JAR. Finally, our build success. So there are several code changes related to S3. Currently, as we are not using S3, I have commented these properties which are required for S3. Okay. So now you can go to our project target directory. JAR is created. How to run the JAR file? By using JAR command, we can run the JAR file. Go to target directory of our project, cd space target directory. Here we have our JAR file. To run the JAR file, we will use java space -jar. What is the JAR name? 18co api.jar. This is the command which is used to run the JAR file from the CLI. Execute this command. It should start our boot application, guys. Boot application is having a web starter. So Tomcat server will come with the port number 8080. So it is trying to start our boot application. Yeah, banner it got printed. This is the command I'm using. So from the IDE, I'm getting some issue. That's why I packaged it from the CLI. So I have generated a JAR file by using Maven goal called package goal. Once this JAR got generated, I'm trying to run that JAR file from the CLI itself. So it is waiting for execution. Yes. Tomcat server started on the port number 8080. Finally, our boot application started on the port number 8080. Now, let us go to database and verify how many triggers are in the pending status. 5000 triggers are in the pending status. In our project directory, you check currently, there are no PDF files available. In the project directory, currently, there are no PDF files available. My JAR file is executed. So project is running. Not in the IDE, guys. Project is executed from the CLI. I packaged as a JAR file. IDE having some issue. It's not loading the project properly. So because of some dependencies and all that stuff, it is taking time. So that's why I have executed from the CLI. Now in the IntelliJ, it is ready. We can run from there, but I already executed from the CLI. Now I want to send a request for my application. Currently, we don't have any schedule. I want to send the request for my application by using browser. As we have seen, this application is having a REST controller. That REST controller is having a get request method. Let us make a get request to this method using this URL pattern. It will call this service layer method. This service layer method will execute a query to get all the pending records from the table. There are 5000 records are in the pending. It has to generate the PDF for the 5000 records. It has to update the 5000 records as completed. But two important logics I have commented. One is uploading the object to S3 bucket I have commented, and sending the email as the attachment also I have commented due to business reason. Mail and S3 logic will not work now because of comments. Now you see my CPU utilization is around 80% or 83%, around 70 to 80% CPU utilization is available. Let us go to browser and make a request. Before going to make this request, all of you can open your stopwatch. All of you can open your stopwatch and see how much time our application will take to process 5000 records, right? Localhost colon 8080/process. Stopwatch is started. You can check in the console. Queries are executing. Select the triggers from the database table. Our queries will execute to process the records available in the table. My application started. Go to the database. Check the pending triggers. Now still 5,000 records are in the pending status. That means the processing is not happening. It executed where pending status is equal to P. It got the record. It has to generate the PDF and it has to convert that trigger from the pending status to completed status. Why it got stuck? CPU reached it to 70, 80. One query got executed. Processing is not started. Still 5,000 are available. Yeah, why? What happened to my laptop today? Watch band karo bhai. Again, we need to do it. Let me kill it. I killed from command prompt. Go to IntelliJ. Load this. Run from IntelliJ. Try. Refresh this. Code changes we have done. Yeah, commented code is available. Let's go to start class in the IntelliJ and run from this. Right click. Run. Let us check. Is it running from IntelliJ? Guys, execution is taking a lot of time. Yeah, finally it is getting started. Error in the application. Command line is too long. Cancel that. Nothing to show. No, it is not started. Run this. It is trying to start the application. Let us check it. Yeah, application starting, guys. From the IntelliJ, it is starting. Let's wait. Because of the S3 dependency, it is taking a lot of time. Finally, our application is started. Clear the console. Nothing is available. Go to browser, send a request. I send the request. It executed a query. Select the records from table which are in the pending status. After that, got hanged. After this, nothing is happening. Refresh. Yeah, guys, I think the problem is from our side only. The query is checking to find the records with the pending status, but in the DB, we inserted the status as P. So no pending record is available. Hence, this logic is not executing. So the code is executing correctly. The problem is with the status. Okay. So let me change the status to P. So we are trying to find out the records which are in the pending status, but in the DB, the status column is having just P. Because of that, no record is coming. So this loop is not working. You understand the problem? Yeah, let's correct it. Status, make it to P. It's our bad. Stop it and do the Maven build again. MV and clean package. I had done the code change. Yeah, come out from this directory and do the clean package. Now we can see that. Whatever the status that we are passing in the code to fetch the pending records, whatever the status available in the database, it is not matching. Okay. I have corrected it now. I'm doing the repackage of my code. Package got success. Go to the target directory, cd space target, then run the jar file. Java-jar 18 jar file is available. Execute the code as a jar. This time it will work. We can use the watch to identify the time it is going to take. Yes, guys, application started finally. Go with this method. Now I'm starting my stopwatch, send a request and go to our console. Now you can see the queries are executing, the records will be processed. Queries are executing, records will be processed. Now you can see count of pending triggers in the DB. Now if you see the count of pending triggers, 4,800 triggers. That means the triggers are getting processed. Earlier it was 5,000. Now it is 4699. 4699. 4638. Okay. 464579. So the records are getting processed one by one. The records are getting processed one by one. So slowly the pending triggers count is changing. That means the records are converting from pending status to, slowly the records are status is changing from pending status to completed status. From 5,000, now we have 4,100. That means 900 records processing got completed. 3,000 records got 3,000 records, 3,900 pending, 3,800 pending. Okay. Now if you see select star from CO triggers, you can observe that the status is updating from pending to C. C means complete. Okay. Count star 3,600, 3,600, 3,500. Okay. 3,400. Now you can see on the console, continuously the queries are executing. My program is executing non-stop. Go to CPU utilization, 100%. That means we are utilizing all the resources of our system and we are running our batch job. This batch job is doing the bulk operation. It has to get, for every record, it has to get the eligibility data. It has to prepare the PDF for every record and it has to update the trigger as a completed trigger. It has to update the trigger as completed trigger. Now observe. Continuously the records are getting updated, getting the data from the database, generating the PDF, updating the status as complete. I have removed S3 upload and email attachment. If I add the S3 upload email attachment, it will take more time. If I take S3 upload and email attachment, the program will take more time for execution. What is the stopwatch time, guys? What is the stopwatch time now? What is the stopwatch time now? How many seconds completed? How many minutes completed? Now check the pending count. 1,700. 1,700. 1,700 records are still in the pending status. 1,500 records are still in the pending status. 1,400 records are still in the pending status. Okay. 1,200 records are in the pending status. 1,100 records are in the pending status. 1,100 records are in the pending status. Our program is continuously executing. Queries are keep on generating. Queries are keep on generating. Queries are executing continuously. That means every record is getting processed. Every record is getting processed. Queries are continuously executing. Records are getting processed, almost completed. 400 records are in the pending. Once record processing completed, this query's execution will be stopped. Once all the records processing completed, this query's execution will be stopped. That means we can say our batch job execution got completed. Yes, execution stopped. Stop the watch. 4 minutes, 18 seconds it has taken. Now you go to the table and you check any record available in the pending. Select a count star from triggers where trigger status is equal to P, 0. So what is the meaning of that? All the records processing is completed. So if you go to the table, select a star from CO triggers. If you see, the triggers all are changed to completed. Earlier, all the triggers are in the pending. Now all the triggers are changed to completed. So do you understand what is the batch processing here? Suppose if I enable these two functionalities also, it will take more than 5 minutes. It will take more than 5 minutes if I enable these two functionalities. S3 upload is not available, email sending is not available. S3 upload is not available, email sending is also not available, but still it is taking that much time. S3 upload is not available, email sending is not available, but still it is taking 5 minutes of time. Okay, around 4.3. 4.4 minutes, 18 seconds of time it has taken. Now if I enable these functionalities, how much time it will take? Lot of time, because S3 upload, email sending, attachment is not easy. So like this, our program is executing with one thread. If our program is executed with one thread, what is the problem, guys? If this program is executed with one thread, what is the problem? We can process only less number of records. As I told you, now if I enable that S3 bucket and email attachment also, assume that for 1 second we are processing one notice. Assume that 1 second is time it is taking for one notice. So in this scenario, if I run this batch like this, for one notice, it is taking 1 second. Now, in 1 minute, how many notices we can complete? In 1 minute, we can complete only 60 notices. In 1 hour, how many notices we can process? 60 multiplied by 60, 3,600 notices we can generate. So this is the real problem that we faced in the company. 1 second, it is taking to execute one notice. Why? Because it has to take lot of data from the database table to generate the PDF. In the PDF, we need to display that citizen name, citizen email ID, citizen phone number, citizen address, citizen plan, eligibility details, company details, project details. Lot of information we need to display in the PDF. So to display that information, we need to fetch the data from the database table. Fetching the data from the database table, generating the PDF, storing the PDF in the S3, sending the PDF as an attachment in the email, updating the record in the database is a time-taking process. So now assume that for rough calculation, it is taking 1 second of time to generate one notice. If you assume it is taking 1 second of time to generate one notice, then within 1 minute, our program can send 60 notices. In 1 minute. So in 1 hour, it can send 3,600 notices. Now, for our batch execution, daily 1 hour slot given for CO batch execution in production. Okay, 9 to 5 project will be used. 5 o'clock offices will be closed. From 6 o'clock, our batch jobs are going to execute on daily basis. Whatever the batch I have implemented in the project, this batch will execute daily from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. That is the slot. So in the remaining times, the remaining batches has to be executed. Daily 1 hour slot given for CO batch execution in the production. So if our batch is executing for 1 hour daily, how many notices we can generate, guys? Daily, how many notices we can generate with this calculation? Daily we can generate only 3,600 notices per hour. Now assume that first day we got 2,000 applications. 2,000 applications. Okay, 2,000 notices sent. Notices sent. So when the application is deployed in the production, first day we got the 2,000 applications. For 2,000 applications, 2,000 notices got generated and sent. Okay, any problem with our batch now? First day, 2,000 citizens applied for the plans. For them, night at 7 p.m., our batch is executed, 2,000 notices generated. Our batch capacity, 1 hour it is going to execute 3,600 notices it can generate. First day, 2,000 applications we have received from the citizens. So 2,000 notices generated and processed by our batch. No problem with the 2K notices. Then when it go for second day we got 3,000 applications. Second day we got 3,000 applications. Is our batch can process 3,000 notices per day, per hour basically? For 3,000 also, there is no problem. First day when we got the 2,000 applications, 2,000 notices are sent for the citizens. Second day we got the 3,000 applications. For 3,000 also, no problem. No problem. Okay. Here also, no problem. Because our batch completed all the processing for the notices. Right? Our batch completed processing for all the records. From that day, cinema started. Third day, all over the state, application becoming famous and 5,000 people applied. Third day, so people started applying, people are getting publicity coming for the application. Government is giving the benefits now. Let's go and apply for the plans. First day 2,000, second day 3,000, third day 5,000 applications completed. Out of 5,000, how many notices we can send, guys? How many notices we can send? Only 3,600. Total, how many we got? Total, we got 5,000. So 1 hour only it will execute. After 1 hour, they will stop it. After 1 hour, they will stop it. Only 1 hour it should run. 5,000 applications we got. 3,600 notices are sent. What about the remaining 1,400? They are in the pending status. The 1,400 records are in the pending status. Now, fourth day, assume that we got 10,000 applications. Fourth day, we got the 10,000 applications. How many notices we can send? 3,600 notices sent. But how many we got? 10,000 we got. In the 10,000, if I remove 3,600, then 6,400 pending from today. Yesterday, 1,400 pending. So total 7,800 pending. That means in the state, almost 8,000 people did not receive the notice. Now, if I go for fifth day, 20,000 people applied. It becoming more famous in the state. Okay, government is giving the benefits in the IES application. Let us go and apply. Then that for fifth day also, only we sent 3,600. What about the remaining? 16,400 pending from here and previous backlog 8,700 pending. So then what will happen? Around 24K records are in the pending status. So if these many records are going for pending every day, our application not sending the notices, do you think that citizens will keep quiet? 24,000 people are in the confusion. What happened to my eligibility? Am I approved for the plan or am I denied for the plan? Am I going to get the money from the government or am not going to get the money from the government? Are you guys clear? Are you guys clear with my point? People will be getting confused. अरे यार 2 दिन पहले I applied for a plan. 2 days before I applied for the plan, but I did not get any confirmation from the government. 2 days before I applied for the plan, I did not get any confirmation from the government. So if this is the situation, do you think that people will keep quiet? Do you think that people will keep quiet if this is the situation? People started complaining, IAS is worst application. People started complaining that IAS is worst application, government is worst government, they are not giving any updates properly. People started complaining that. The problem is our batch performance is not good. Per 1 hour, it is processing only 3,600. Incoming is more, outgoing is less. This is one of the performance issue in the project, which most of the projects will face. Incoming traffic is more, incoming applications are more, outgoing notices are very, very, very less when compared with the incoming traffic. This is a performance issue. So now you assume that you have developed in the real time. I only implemented this batch. As I told you, I am part of the correspondence module in the team. I developed this correspondence module. I developed 180 batches in the correspondence with the same concept. Take the pending notices, generate the pending notices, store the pending notice in the S3, send in the email as attachment, update in the database. This logic we implemented for 180 types of notices. I was part of this batch. I implemented this batch implementation. After 1 week, my manager called me. Ashok, what you have done in the correspondence batch? So many batches are in the, so many notices are in the pending status. People are not receiving the updates from the correspondence module. What is the issue? Can you check it? So when I debug my code, when I run my code, are we getting any exception in the code? There is no exception in the code. Code is working perfectly. Is there any exception in the code? Is there any error in the code? There is no error in the code. The code is working as expected, but performance is not good. Performance is not good. This is the real challenge I have faced in my career 5 years back. Okay. So this is the real challenge I faced in my career 5 years back. Implementing batches in the project, nightly batches, no UI, only backend logic. So backend, lot of records we have to process. Per day, 1 lakh applications also can come. Per day, 1 lakh applications also can come. Like this, 180 batches are available with different logics. In all the batches, we have the performance issue. We have the performance issue. Now you understand. Whatever the code I have written for the batch to generate the notices, code is perfect. Code is working. It is fetching the pending records. It is generating the notices, uploading in the S3 bucket, sending the emails, updating the record status. Everything is fine. The reason for the problem, incoming applications are more, outgoing notices are less because of this 1 hour schedule. They have given 1 hour time slot for my batch execution. As per my implementation, my batch will process only 1 record per 1 second. So 1 minute it can process only 60 records. 1 hour it can process 3,600 notices. But daily we are getting 10,000 applications and 15,000 applications. But we are sending only 3,600 notices. Then citizens got confused. Arey bhai, kya hua? What about my eligibility? Am I going to get the benefit or not? Am I approved? Am I denied? If I approved, how much benefit I will get? If I deny, why I denied? Where is the information? That information is not going from our project to the citizens. That information is not going from the IAS to the citizens. Then people started scolding IAS application and RI state government application. Government people called company. What happened? Why this project is not working? We paid lot of money for the development. Why it is not working as expected? Then we observed the problem is not in the problem is not with the notice generation. The problem is there is no exception. There is no problem in the code. Code is working 100% perfect. We have tested. Notices are going. Notices are generating. Uploading in the S3. Email is going. Trigger status is completed. from the pending status, it is switched to completed status. Every trigger is completed. Okay, that is fine. But how many notices are going per day? That is the concept. That is the problem. 3,600. In the interview, if anybody asks you, what is the challenging thing you have faced in the project? You need to tell the same. We have implemented a batch. Our batch was processing the pending records to send the notices to the citizens. For 1 second, it is processing one notice. Per hour, it is processing only 3,600 notices. But once we deployed our application to the production environment, we got lot of applications per day, but our batch processing only 3,600 records per hour. So many records are in the pending status. Citizens got confused. Citizens complained to the government. Citizens started scolding the government in the media. Then we identified our problem. Then we fixed our problem. How to fix this problem? Now, if you observe, how many threads are running in this application now? How many threads are running in this application now? Come on, guys. Currently, there is only one thread is running. That's why for 1 second, only one record is processing. Now, I want to improve performance of my batch. To improve performance of this batch, we need to go for multi-threading. What I need to do, guys? I need to go for multi-threading. So here, one thread is processing one trigger. I want multiple threads to process multiple triggers parallelly. Okay. Now, here, one thread is processing one record per 1 second. Let us create multiple threads in the project. Create 10 threads in batch job. Create 10 threads in the batch program to process 10 triggers at a time. To process 10 triggers at a time. If I go for this, now one thread will process one trigger for 1 second. If I go with the 10 threads now, 10 threads will process 10 triggers in 1 second. Difference is there or not? Currently, whatever the code that is running, that code is running with one thread. For one thread, one thread is processing one trigger for 1 second. Same program, if I run with the 10 threads will process the 10 triggers for 1 second. So that means 1 second, we are going to process 10 triggers. Now, 1 minute, it can process how many triggers? 600 triggers. 1 minute. For 1 hour, how many triggers it can process? 36,000 triggers it can process for 1 hour. This is called performance improvement. Earlier per 1 hour, how many records are processing? Earlier 1 hour, 3,600 records are processing. Now, for 1 hour, if I run a program with the 10 threads, how many records will process for 1 hour? 36,000 triggers will be processed per hour. Suppose instead of 10 threads, if I make it as 20 threads, if I go with the 20 threads, 72,000 records will be processed in 1 hour. Performance is improved or not? Performance improvement is there or not? Come on, guys. From 3,600 to 36,000 records per hour. Instead of 10 threads, if I go for 20 threads, 72,000 triggers can be processed per hour. Are you guys getting my point? Where to use multi-threading? Are you guys able to understand where to use multi-threading in the real-time projects? When your project is performing bulk operation or when your project is performing batch operation, then you need to go for multi-threading concept. Okay. Can we change our code to multi-threading and can we check the improvement is there or not? Earlier it has taken 4 minutes, more than 4 minutes to process 5,000 records. Can we do this now with the 10 threads, guys? Yes. Let me change my table pending records to completed records to the records are in the completed states now. Let me execute. Truncate CO triggers. I'm removing the data from the table, which is already in the completed state now. Let me execute the script again. I have told that I have a script stored procedure is available with me. Using this stored procedure, I can insert 5,000 records again in the table with the pending status. Go to this. Yes, this is my procedure. This is stored procedure, PLSQL procedure to insert 5,000 records at a time in the database table by using loop concept. Okay, procedure is executed. Call the procedure. After calling the procedure, go to still procedure is executing, guys. It will take time to insert 5,000 records in the pending status. I'm updating the records back to pending so that I can run the job again. I'm updating the triggers back to pending so that I can run the job again. Select star from CO triggers. You can check it. Pending triggers are available in the table now. Right. Now, I want to run the same program, but this time I want to run with multiple threads, guys. Select count star from triggers where the trigger status is equal to P. Select the count triggers where trigger status is equal to P. You can see 5,000 records are in the pending status. Now see the code changes. Currently, observe guys, this is very important. 2 lines of code I am going to write, but it is very important. Now, here we are getting all the pending records from the table. We are calling each record in the for loop. That means one record will be called by thread. Now, I want to call this process trigger method by multiple threads at a time. Okay, guys, let's take a 2 minutes break, get some water, then we will start. Another 20 minutes, another 15 minutes required. Just take some water, 2 minutes break before going to multi-threading implementation. Just get some water and get ready. We will see multi-threading implementation and we will. Okay, 2 minutes break, get. Guys, are you ready? Guys, are you ready? Can we run this program with multi-threading? Now you got the clarity. What is the problem when I don't use multi-threading and what is the advantage when I go for multi-threading? You understand the problem if we don't use multi-threading. What is the problem if I don't use multi-threading? What is the problem? performance issue. Performance issue. Now I want to improve the performance. So instead of running the program with one thread, I want to run the program with the multiple threads. How to run the program with the multiple threads? See this. In order to run the program with the multiple threads, we need to use executor service. Okay. Let me go with the executor service framework in the Java. Executor service dot executor service executors dot executor service dot executors dot create executors dot new fixed thread pool. How many threads you want? You can create it by using this thread pool object. Okay, so this is my executor service object. What is the purpose of this executor service object? It is used to create number of threads we need to run our code. Now, executors dot new fixed thread pool. I have thread pool with 10 threads. Now, each thread I need to take from the pool. For each thread, I need to give one record for the processing. So what we need to do is executor service dot submit a task. Executor service dot submit a task. New runnable or callable, anything is fine. New runnable, a anonymous implementation I am going to do in this run method will be available. You can do this by using callable also. So executor service dot submit. Executor service is available. This executor service will give you thread pool. 10 threads will be created. From that service, for each thread, I want to submit a task. To submit a task, we need a thread object. So you can do this by using runnable, or you can do this by using callable. Now, this logic, whatever I have, I need to keep inside the for loop. Whatever the logic I have, I need to keep this logic in the for loop. I will call process trigger method inside the run method. I will call process trigger method inside the run method. Why we are calling process trigger method inside the run method? So because I want to execute the process trigger method by a thread which is available in the thread pool. So here the multi-threading code implementation completed, guys. Now understand how I have implemented this multi-threading logic here. I am getting pending triggers with the status as T. I got the pending triggers. So pending triggers will be 5,000 in our scenario. To execute these 5,000 pending triggers, I need a threads. I need 10 threads. You can go for 20 threads also. You can go for 10 threads also. I'm going for fixed thread pool of 10. I got the executor service with the 10 threads. Once I got executor service with the 10 threads, I want to take each thread from the pool. For each thread, I want to give one trigger. So that's why inside the for loop, I'm getting each trigger from the pending triggers. Then I'm submitting the task for the thread by passing my trigger object. So for every thread, this task will be submitted. For every thread, one trigger will be given and a task will be submitted. So here what will happen is for first thread, first trigger will go. For second thread, second trigger will go. For third thread, third trigger will go. Similarly, for 10 threads, 10 triggers will go. After 10 threads completed 10 triggers, then again 11th trigger will go to first thread, 12th trigger will go to second thread. In single shot, 10 threads will process. Once the 10 threads completed, again the 10 threads will be reused in the thread pool. Again 10 triggers will be processed. Again 10 triggers. In the single shot, 10 triggers will be completed by using this thread pool concept. Look at the logic. If you want, I will implement it once again. Observe. So I want to, this is my existing code, guys. This is my existing code. This existing code is processing the triggers one by one, one by one. This existing code is processing the triggers one by one, one by one. With this processing, it is taking 4 minutes of time to process all the 5,000 records. Now I want to improve the performance by implementing multi-threading. To implement multi-threading in the Java, we will go for executors. New fixed thread pool, I'm giving 10. So with this, what will happen? 10 threads pool will be created using executor service. For every thread, I need to submit a task. What is the task? Task is this method. Executing this method is a task for my thread. Executing this method is a task for my thread. So every trigger I should give as one task to one thread. For that, what logic we will write? Executor service dot submit. How to submit? As a thread. New runnable. Why I am going for submit with the runnable or callable? When the first thread is executing first trigger, second thread should not wait for that. Second thread should complete its execution. It start its execution. So here, this thread I am creating for parallel processing. Multi-threading mainly used for parallel processing. So run method is available. Whatever the task, give task here. Give task here. Whatever the task you want to give for the thread, you write that task in the run method. What is our task? Calling this method is the task. Okay. So for each thread, I need to submit a task with one trigger. That's the reason whatever the logic we have, I will keep that logic inside the for loop. Why I am keeping the logic inside the for loop? Inside the for loop, I am iterating all the pending triggers. I am getting each trigger. That each trigger I will give to one thread by calling process pending trigger. Process trigger by passing that trigger object. Whatever the trigger we have. That's it. This is called for multi-threading logic. That's it. Now, earlier, our program is executed with one thread. Now our program will be executed with 10 threads at a time. Now our program will execute with 10 threads at a time. Understand the scenario? Understand the scenario? Can we run this now? And can we test it? How much time it is taking? First of all, are you able to understand the code that I am writing for multi-threading? Executor service object I have created. For the executor service object, I am submitting the task. The task for the thread is calling the process method with the trigger. Each pending trigger I am giving to one thread. So total 10 threads are available. 10 threads will be reused to process. 10 threads will be reused to process all 5,000 triggers. So with this logic, 3,600 to 36,000 records we can process per hour. Earlier, if I don't write these 2 lines of code, per hour we can process 3,600. Now, I have added just 2-3 lines of code. With this, from 3,600, now this program can process 36,000. Suppose if I make as 20 here, 72,000 can be processed in 1 hour. You understand the power of multi-threading. You got the scenario where to use multi-threading in the project. You understand the power of multi-threading. You understand the scenario. You understand the scenario of multi-threading. How many lines code change? This is 1 line and this is 1 line, 2 lines of code. Just with the 2 lines of code, the power of our program is improved. The performance of the program is improved. Yes, now let's build this code and try to run this code, guys. Let me go here. Let me build my project. Let me build my project. Workspace, CO API. Code changes happen. Recreate the jar file, rerun the project and see the time, how much time it is taking for 5,000 records processing. Earlier, with one thread, it has taken 4 minutes of time. Okay, now let me build MVN clean package. MVN clean package. Project build in progress. Once build completed, we need to run the program again and we need to check it, how much time it is taking by using stopwatch. So currently 5,000 records are in the pending status. Currently 5,000 records are in the pending status. Yeah, build got success. Go into our directory, cd space target, cls, java space, -jar space. Our jar file name is available. Run this jar file. Project will execute from the jar file. We can send a request and we can see the time taking file by our batch job. Yeah. Finally, our application started. Application is getting started. Yes, guys, application started. Good. Can we send the request and can we see that by using stopwatch? Can we send the request and can we see that by using stopwatch? All of you ready with the stopwatch? All of you ready with the stopwatch? Come on, guys. Ready with the stopwatch? Yes. So check the console and check the database. Very quickly, it will complete, guys. 5,000 records are still in the pending status. Our batch should process. Ready? 1, 2, 3, start. I sent the request. Check the console. Records are getting processed. Go to database and check it. 4,850 are pending. 4,600 pending. 4,100. Performance is fast or not? 3,600. 3,200. Any improvement in the performance? Guys, any improvement in the performance? 2,000 records. 2,000 records. 1,400 records are pending. 888 records are pending. Very quickly, it is 300 records are pending. Done. Less than 1 minute. Less than 1 minute. 47 seconds, it completed 5,000 records processing. What you observed, what you learned from today's session. What you learned from the today's session, guys? Have you seen the performance improvement? Have you seen the performance improvement? Practically, have you seen? Now, if anybody asks you where to use multi-threading in the real-time project, do you have answer for that? Personally, I have implemented this in my project. When I run this program, it was taking 4 minutes for 5,000 records. Just I made 2 lines code change. Then within 45 seconds, it completed. That is the power of multi-threading in the Java. Everybody will teach you what is multi-threading, what is thread, what is runnable. But people will not tell you where to use it, how to use it. But today you got that scenario, how to use multi-threading. Just 2 lines of code. That's it. That's it. Performance improved. Clear, guys? Yeah. Now, anybody having any questions on this, you can ask me.
Sir, in fixed thread pools size, it's
generally we will go with 10 or 15, sir.
10, 15.
Yes.
Okay. Not more than the like.
No. Anybody having any question? Anybody having any question? Guys, anybody having any questions?
Sir,
No.
in interview, sir, in CO module, in 6 step, I am telling to in interview how to send notices. Hello? 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 Hello?
Animesh, wait for some time. There may be a issue in search system.
So, can
See
you hear
the
me?
see the Ashok IT host. They're connecting to voice.
Okay.
Hello, sir. It's not.
I think Ashok sir system got hanged.
Yes, Nilesh. Yes.
Hello?